getting back to Google, specifically to Pixel stuff, we recently had an interview. We didn't have the interview. The Verge did the interview with Google's former camera chief. He's the guy who recently went over to Adobe to potentially work on a universal camera app. You know, this guy loves the software. Mark Lavoie. He explained he moved on from Google. He hit a sort of ceiling over there, and he wanted to bring to more devices. He wanted to go to Adobe and all the rest of it. I mean, it's outlined in the interview. But something else that came out is that he's not a fan. And by the way, this guy, what he's doing with the cameras, I can speak from experience, big Pixel software fan, Google camera app fan myself, the way, the style, the look of, I mean, I've been the beneficiary of the work that Mark Lavoie put into that software, big software guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, he doesn't like big megapixel cameras. As you may imagine, the Pixel never really pushed in that area. It really didn't push in the multi-camera area at first either. And then they started to think about it afterwards. But it's been a 12 megapixel thing. He thinks the trade-offs are too big. He thinks it's software's job. He goes on to say that, like, look, there are downsides to these megapixel counts. Megapixel counts. Wow. See how that goes. He said it's not a good idea. He's not convinced it's a good idea due to the laws of physics. The denser the megapixel count, the higher the signal to noise ratio. Also, not a fan of pixel binning on a high megapixel sensor. He says the approach makes it harder to demosaic the shot and produce aliasing artifacts like zippering. I mean, this guy's deep. He's into it. He also says sensor technology is fairly mature and all the changes that are taking place now are fairly incremental. He truly believes the real opportunity is in the software.
AI?
Yeah.
Algos?
Algotown.
Yeah.
Algotown. And neural stuff. Smarts.
Brains.
Processing and
Circuits.
styling, really. I mean, style decisions and contrast and sharpening or lack thereof. All these crazy interpretations of, oh, that's a human. Here's how we want to treat that. That's a dog. Here's what we're going to do here. All this against the enormous reference pool that exists of all the photos that have ever been taken. I mean, it's magical stuff, really. Well, not to him. He's working on it. It ain't magic at all. He's like, nah, I did that. But anyway, he goes to Adobe, and we talked about this in the past. The cool part there is maybe this technology gets out to more people in the form of a universal app. I don't know how Adobe makes money on it. Bit curious there when the thing comes out. But if you're wondering what he thinks about megapixel counts, he's not convinced. If you're buying a smartphone with a 64 megapixel camera on it, it's common right now. I mean, you have 108 megapixel cameras, pretty common right now. Then you're not making Mark Lavoie happy. He says we'll do it with 12 megapixels.
And bigger camera hump, too.
A lot of humps.
Right? Yeah.
A lot of humps out there.